So I have a week off and I completely forget what I'm doing. Clearly I can't take time off. Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Project to Bag podcast. My name's Gemma and I'm coming to you from Kent, where I live with my husband and my two gorgeous fluffy cats, Archie and Kit 9. This is my podcast about knitting primarily. There's mostly knitting, crochet, some sewing, occasionally some spinning, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're just not going to talk about that. Making lots of things and hand-dyed yarn and all sorts of wonderful bits and bobs that we throw in there as well, including some make-alongs for you. If you are a returning viewer, welcome. Thank you so much for dropping back. Thank you for your patience, because it's been a fortnight since I last recorded. Not quite a fortnight since I last uploaded, but it's getting close. And if you are a new viewer trying out the podcast for the first time, welcome. I'm a little bit rusty, a little bit unpolished because I've had a week off, and I've also been a bit poorly, so I might sound a bit more husky than usual. But I hope you've got something to drink with you. Hope you've got something to work on while we're having a little knit and natter together, or crochet or sew, or whatever it is you choose to do while you're spending some time with me this evening. And I hope you enjoy our next half an hour or so together. Returning viewers, I'm so grateful to you for dropping back, and thank you to all those of you who've joined the Ravelry group. It's so lovely to see you introducing yourselves in there and joining in with the cows, and that's actually where I'm going to start. Those of you who are new, all the information about where you can find me, find the groups, follow us, talk, join in, is just down below in the description box, or it will be by the time this is uploaded. It's not there now because I'm recording. Oh dear, Gemma's delirious. But I'm going to start with talking about the cows. The Crack Those Whips cowl has closed. It is finished, and wow, what a mammoth effort you guys have put in. There is some serious whip cracking going on. I have been absolutely amazed by just how productive you've been and the range of projects that we've got going on in there as well. It's such a source of inspiration, and it's so nice to see you proudly showing off those finished objects, and rightly so. You should be very proud. I don't think I finished anything for that cow at all, so there we are. Whoops, never mind. Actually, what I did achieve, I achieved something. I achieved some additions to my whip list, or my dream knitting list, or to if you're part of the Knitting Vicariously, my Vicarious knitting list. Those of you who don't know, Knitting Vicariously podcast is amazing. It's a new podcast. Everyone's talking about it, but it is absolutely brilliant. I have linked it just down below. Do go and check the lovely Caroline out if you are that way inclined. You won't regret it. And she makes more sense than me, so... Yeah, I've added to my queue, I suppose the technical term for Ravelry is, isn't it? The queue. I want to make several things. So in that sense, I view that as a success. I have inspiration. I know I won't be short of knitting for 2019. Those of you who are expecting me to announce a winner, I'm going to start off by saying I am sorry, I have forgotten to draw a winner. I closed the thread, set up for recording, and my husband's gone upstairs with the laptop to do some work, and I cannot physically draw a winner while he's on the laptop. I don't want to go and disturb him. So I hope you forgive me. I will draw the winner next week, and also I'll be able to show you what you've won, because I haven't actually got that together yet. Suffice to say, I think you'll like it. Anyway, thank you to everyone who's joined in with that. That one is now closed. However, you have more chances to win if you are taking part in the Great Festive Cast-On Cowl. These are for things started on or after the 1st of October 2018. My God, that would be very, very organised if I was talking about 2019 already. 2018. Anything with a festive link. There's a chatter thread, lots of lovely chatter going on in there, and there is a finished objects thread as well. And amazing the number of projects that are going in there. I'm very, very inspired, very in awe. Take my hat off to you, you well organised knitters and crocheters and makers. So do pop that in there. I will be closing the thread on Christmas Eve, and I will be drawing prizes at some point over the festive period and uploading a little mini look what you've won video. That's the plan anyway, at some point over the Christmas break, just a little mini one. I am thinking about cows for next year, but I'm not going to start talking about those until we've got these ones wrapped up, so we'll park that for a moment. Finished objects is next on the list. I have no finished objects, but you did have 7 the other week, so don't be greedy. I have no finished objects, but there are so many inspiring finished objects for you to check out in the Ravelry group if you pop along there. Oh, I'm lying to you. Finished objects. I have bags. You may well have seen these on my Instagram and my Facebook. I have been making bags like there's no tomorrow, and I love how festive these are. These are all available. Well, no, they're not. I'm lying to you. A couple of them have actually sold and I can't remember which. But yeah, do go across and check out the rest of them if you like. There are a few available for purchase, and I am offering free postage on orders over £20 at the moment. No code needed, it happens automatically on qualifying orders. So that's shop stuff out of the way straight away. For new viewers who might not know, I am the dyer and maker behind the project bag yarns and project bags, actually. There we go. So that's that. On to whips, because there has been some progress. The first one is living in one of my sock size project bags. This is one the cat stamped on, so I had to keep, but actually I really rather like it, so I don't mind. And these are my new sock design. I am fully aware that my other sock design hasn't come out yet. It is waiting on me to fine tune it before sending it to the tech editor. And as with many things this time of year, I've just been a bit busy and it just hasn't got done quite yet. But here we are. Here is my new sock design. I am really quite pleased with it. Absolutely loving it, if I'm honest. It's just some simple eyelet lace. It took a little bit of fundangling to get it to sit right, but I am really, really pleased with the effect. This is the leg. I am just starting, as you can see, to do the heel flap. So it's a top-down design with a 1x1 twisted rib cuff, little lace thing going on there, and then a traditional heel flap and gusset. The yarn I am using is Vintage Christmas, which was last year's Christmas colourway by Amy of Stranded Dye Works. It's absolutely beautiful. You can see all the speckles coming in there, that lovely minty colour. I really, really like that. In fact, I was working on this at my mum's last week, and she kept picking up the ball and going, oh, I really like that. Oh, I really like that. I'm like, well, they're my socks. Get off. I am not parting with this. We'll see. We'll see. I might be persuaded. These were meant to be my entry into Amy's festive sock along, which closed on the 1st of December. But as you can see, I have not finished them, so they cannot be entered. However, my aim, which I'm not going to stress about if I don't make, is to finish them for Christmas Day, so I have some lovely festive socks to wear at Christmas. I'm working these on 2 circular needles, which is what that irritating click-clacking is, if you can hear it. How that works, if you don't know, is you have 1/2 of the sock on 1 circular needle. Don't know how well you can see that. And the other half of the sock on the other circular needle. So you're only working with 2 ends at a time. I personally find that easier than double pointeds, because double pointeds I have a habit of forgetting which needles to use and I end up dropping the odd one on the floor. I do use double pointeds occasionally, but I just prefer I do just prefer the 2 circulars for sock knitting. I've tried using the mini circulars as well, but I feel a bit too much like Goliath using those, so they're not for me. So that's my personal preference. I use Knit Pro Symphonies for my socks, which I really, really like. These are not the interchangeable ones, these are fixed circulars. For those of you who aren't sure, fixed circulars, actually I've put that away and I could show you. Fixed circulars are ones that where the needle tips are fixed to the cable, you can't take that off, okay? The alternative is interchangeable needles, which I will show you on my next whip, and the only other one to have seen any love, which I've lost. Back in a mo. Okay, living in my very long project bag, one of the very first drawstring project bags I made, and I have a plan for these. I really shouldn't take credit because it wasn't entirely my own idea, but there is a plan for these, so watch this space. But living in this drawstring bag is my Boxy. This is an amazing project to work in that you really, really, really want the project. Trust me, you do. I've done the worsted weight version, which is effectively Aran. I think it's like a light Aran. And I'm really glad I've done the worsted version because obviously there are fewer stitches and obviously it grows quicker. If I'd been doing the fingering weight or 4-ply version, I think I might have gone slightly dotty by now, just because it goes on forever. But it's totally worth it. But it does go on forever. But it's really worth it. So this is Boxy. As you can see, I have bound off the neck. It's got this lovely roll effect neckline. I have done the 3-needle bind off for the sleeve seams here. We're not going to talk about this bit. It's gone a bit wrong. I'll talk about that in a moment. And I have my Boxy itself. I was at Yarns of Anarchy today. I was at their knit morning with the lovely Laura, who is Yarns of Anarchy. Pop her down here and I'll link to her downstairs as well. Oh my goodness. I really shouldn't take time off. I really shouldn't. I'll link to her down below as well. I was took it in, I was working on it there, and she said actually it's really cool. It's kind of like you could call it like a zombie jumper, zombie apocalypse sweater with the colours. I mean, it does look really quite red here. I took it to Knit Night last week, and they were saying it was quite dark in there, and I was saying about the colours. And they were saying, oh, no, it looks really nice. I said, are you sure? And they said, yeah, we're sure. It looks really lovely. And I said, oh, good, because I was looking at it when I was filming the podcast, because obviously we're going back a little way. And to me, it just looked like a soldier had got lost in an abattoir. Possibly not the nicest image. But yeah, it just looks so violent, but it isn't that bad. And here we are. So I am about to pick up for the sleeves. Now, I shall model it for you. You will see this being modelled as well on the Vlogmas episode. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But here we are. I love it. I really love it. The thing is, the person it's intended for, it is a gift. The person it's intended for actually also really likes it, which I'm a little bit disappointed about because I kind of would have liked to keep it. But here we are. I just keep giggling to myself. I've been watching the Dundernits podcast. It's not the Dundernits, it's the Knitting Vicariously podcast by Caroline, who is Dundernits on Instagram. And starting with her stag head jumper, she started something when she demonstrates knitwear. I'm not going to say any more than that. You just have to go and watch it, but it's so funny. And I just keep thinking, people who watch it will get this. You'll know exactly what I'm thinking when I stand up, but I'm going to stand up and show you. There we go. So I still have an issue with the flippy bottom. I have also done what other people on podcasts have said they do with circular knitting. And I have or jumpers in the round, and I have made it so that the seam is the underarm, so it looks a bit more natural than just going down the back. It is very boxy. As you can see, there is loads of positive ease. My friend will definitely fit her baby bump in there, and it will look fabulous afterwards as well when she is no longer with bump. And I've taken a leaf out of someone else's book, and I've separated the rib to start with. I knit the rib flat, and I'm going to sew it together, and I'm hoping a good, I don't know how well you can hear me when I'm up there, but I'm hoping a good steam blocking will sort that out. Now, steam blocking, I haven't got time to do it and put footage in here like I did on episode 3, but steam blocking is where you use the steam setting on your iron. You just kind of hover it over. You don't let it touch the fabric. Absolutely don't let it touch the fabric. And it makes it damp effectively, and you can stretch it out like that. So I'm hoping a steam block will do. I was hoping to get this finished by tomorrow to give to my friend, but things have happened today. I've been really, really busy. So, but she'll get to try it on at least. But I really, really like it. It is so comfortable and so warm and cozy. The pattern is Boxy by Hohi Locatelli. This is the worsted version. She's got a couple of different versions on Ravelry. I will link to each of them down below if I get a chance and I remember. Can't make any promises. And the yarn is Manos de Uruguay silk blend. Silk blend. It's really, really nice. But I have a question. I had posed this question to Laura this morning as well, actually, but I bought exactly the right amount of yardage. I was really worried actually that I wouldn't have enough yardage. Checked the yardage on the pattern, checked the yardage on the yarn, bought exactly enough. In fact, I was really worried I wouldn't have enough. But I've got this and a whole nother ball left. What's going on? I've done the neckline, I'm going to do the sleeves, and the sleeves are 6 inches. The sleeves will literally come down to my elbow. That's it. That's not going to take all of that. I've either done something monumentally wrong, or the yardage of this yarn isn't as I thought, or I'm knitting really weirdly. I've got no idea. No idea at all. I'm not complaining because the yarn's gorgeous and I would absolutely love to knit something else in it. You know, maybe a tank top or something, perhaps. I don't know. But anyway, there's my mystery for you. With regards to, let's pop this away quickly. With regards to my funny seam thing, which I think is this side, you can just about see it there. I'm just going to sew that. What happened was I lost count. I was really, really pleased when I did the first 3 needle bind off because I worked out that I had exactly the right amount of stitches on 2 needles. But when it came to doing this shoulder, I actually had 4 or 5 more stitches on one needle than the other for the 3 needle bind off. So I monumentally lost count somewhere there. I don't know. So what I started doing is doing the 3 needle bind off, but with knitting 1 from the front needle and 2 from the back at the same time, just to start using them. And I've ended up with this gap here, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some of the yarn, and I'm going to get a darning needle, and I'm just going to darn that hole a little bit there, and it'll be absolutely fine. I think I've got another one here from where I picked up the stitches, so it's not quite perfect, but again, just a quick stitch with the darning needle will solve that problem, and I think it will look absolutely fine. I was tempted to unpick it, and then I thought, when I realised I could sew it in and it would look okay, I thought, well, what's the point? What's the point? Okay, so that is it for creative content of the podcast. I have some Stashquisitions though to share with you. This is my weekend box. Last time I hinted there being box behind the camera over there, and there was, but I couldn't show you because it hadn't been long enough. But as long-term viewers of the podcast will know, if you can be long-term, if I've only got 15 episodes, that's 3 months. I think that counts as long-term. As long-term viewers of the podcast will know, I subscribe to something called the Weekend Box, and I know I'm saying that incorrectly, so I'll put it down here as well. It's by Verity of Truly Hooked, and the idea is that once a month, a box comes in the post with some gorgeous yarn and some gorgeous goodies and a little project, and you just carve out some time for you. How gorgeous is this? Beautiful, beautiful tonal greens. It came with a link to patterns for mini Christmas tree decorations, but you may have seen onto Tinterwebs that a crocheted Christmas tree cat has basically broken the internet. It's basically broken the internet with regards to knitting circles anyway, and crochet circles, obviously. I'm thinking that might have to be that. It also came with a little bauble of beads and pipe cleaners so that you can make these little Christmas tree decorations and hang them on your tree. It did come with some goodies. It came with a chocolate Santa and some gingerbread men. They are long gone, but I do have these gingerbread men. She included some socks. How cute are they? I'm absolutely delighted with them. So I'm very much looking forward to wearing these at some point when I'm knitting with my festive yarn. Happy days. Also from Truly Hooked is a bag. I was really lucky. She had advent boxes and she had bags in those advent boxes and she had some spare, and I was lucky enough to score one. How amazing is that? That's perfect, isn't it? Absolutely perfect. I love these tote bags. They're so simple, but I use them all the time. I've got two of Verity's, and I've also got the Tits Out Collective one, and I use them constantly. And I've also got one that I was sitting on a minute ago, which I think has another project in. And this one's from the Literary Gift Company, and it's some literary quote that my friend got me. Isn't that lovely? It's absolutely covered in cat hair, so I'm going to put that down and hope that none of you notice. Now this actually isn't for me. No, I'm being virtuous. This is a gift for someone, so I'm absolutely delighted to have managed to score it. And yeah, someone will be opening that at Christmas. Next up in Stashquisitions, I am absolutely thrilled to have managed to get myself one of these amazing project bags. How cool. I mean, what a gorgeous colour. These are from Yarns of Anarchy, the aforementioned Yarns of Anarchy, lovely Laura, made by Emma's Nice Things, and they are gorgeous. They're this kind of canvasy fabric and just so lovely. Box bottomed, as you can see, reinforced seam, which is really attractive as well with the top stitching. Really like that. It is a drawstring that you can pull from both ends, and it has the Yarns of Anarchy badge. I love it. I absolutely love it. I had an interesting problem. I saw these on Laura's Instagram the other week. 2 weeks ago now, actually. She shared them that she had some more in stock, and I really thought, yes, I'd really like one. I really would like to support Emma and Laura, and yeah, so I would really like one of these bags, and I know how well made they are. And she had in the picture black, green and pink. I think there might have been cream, I'm not sure. And I said, oh, could you bring one for me for next time I come to knit morning, because it's Laura's knit morning was where I was this morning. And she said, yeah, just let me know what colour. No, because I like the picture. I like all of the colours. Now I have to choose one. It's a bit like, I don't have Subway anymore, but if you've ever walked past a Subway, and I don't mean the train, I mean like the baguette shop, sandwich shop, and you get that smell, and that smell is really enticing. You cannot create that smell in a sandwich. No, because that smell is the cumulative effect of all the different fillings. So to get that smell in your sandwich, you would have to put everything in there, and that would be gross. But effectively, that's what I wanted. I wanted the effect of that picture, and then had to choose one bag. But I went for the minty green, and it is absolutely fabulous. I really love it. And she has got a minty green drawstring there as well. Perfect. In this here project bag, I have some more acquisitions. And they really are that bright. Well, slightly more peachy, I suppose, than's coming up on my camera. But they are blowing out the camera something chronic, but they are gorgeous. This is my very first candygram. Those of you who've seen the podcast before will know that I said that I was going on a yarn diet with the intention of seeing who could lose more weight first. My body, because I have a 1.5 stone to lose, 10 kilos to lose to get to goal, or my yarn stash, which could easily lose 10 kilos with no problem and still have plenty left to spare. And I thought I'd see what I could do first. Could I lose the physical weight or could I use the yarn weight? And the very next morning, Hutch posted that her Candygrams monthly kind of theme box was going to be the Mighty Boosh. Well, I was done for, wasn't I? What could I do? You guts to get the Boosh. Mighty Boosh. Love it. It is called The New Sound, which is just amazing. One of my favourite episodes. It is Noel Fielding. I'm going to get that name wrong. It's going to be totally embarrassing. And Julian someone. Can't remember the names. Anyway, it's great. Watched it at uni. It's a bit of a cult thing. But there we are. And look at those colours. It's got purples and reds and yellows. It's just got a bit of everything and it's really, really exciting. It's the Hardcore DK, 225 metres. And I absolutely love it. No idea what it's going to grow up to be yet. There is a cushion cover pattern that kind of came with the Candygram. I don't think it's going to become a cushion. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something for me, definitely. And of course, it wouldn't be a Candygram or a theme box without some themed extras. So I'm going to just cover up the bottom because some people might find it offensive. Boosh fans will totally understand this. Old Greg is such a funny character in the Mighty Boosh, but you really have to watch it to get it. And the other thing is the Boosh kind of logo created by Yarnistry. And it doesn't want to show itself to you. Let me turn it around and see if that'll do it. Ah, there we go. So that's really cool. The coaster is going to my husband because he is a big Boosh fan as well. And it also came with, and these have survived for a week, which is impressive, marshmallows from the Gourmet Marshmallow Company, which I'm really looking forward to trying with hot chocolate later. Okay, so that's it really for acquisitions and creative content. I did just want to take 5 minutes or so to talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. You may have seen that I've been doing Vlogmas. I am having such a ball. I am so enjoying the editing. It's completely different to editing a podcast. It's much more intensive. I thought it'd be much quicker because vlogs are much shorter, but actually the opposite is true. It is much shorter. My shortest one is under 2.5 minutes, but it takes hours to edit. That said, I'm really enjoying editing it. I think it was the second day of Vlogmas. I went to Laura's godmother's birthday gathering and she'd made herself the most amazing cake, and I took some photos of it just because it was so beautiful. And then I thought, oh, this could be included in Vlogmas. And I had such fun just making the pictures just so and making them come in on the beat of the music. I'm learning loads and loads about video editing, which it's really, really good fun. Couple of things with that though. I am just doing it for fun, okay? I won't necessarily be repeating content that you see in the podcast. I mean, today's content is going to be a bit repeated because I've got me trying on the Boxy and I've got some stuff about the Candygrams in there. It won't necessarily be stuff you see on the podcast. Please don't feel that you have to watch the Vlogmas episodes. That's the last thing I want for you, okay? If you are kind enough to have taken the time to come and sit with me once a week and watch the podcast and you've hit that subscribe button, I'm so, so grateful. I really, really appreciate you spending your time with me, but you are under no obligation to watch all of the episodes. Of course you're not. Just because you hit subscribe doesn't mean you have to watch them all. You are under no obligation to watch the Vlogmas. Your support in sitting and chatting with me and joining the Ravelry groups is absolutely lovely. please don't feel pressured. There's Vlogmas is a lot of fun, but if you have several podcasts that you watch, I know myself that actually the number of podcasts I watch has been reduced slightly because I physically don't have time to keep up to date with them all. I'm hoping to take some time off over Christmas, and I'm probably going to power through and catch up with some that I like and I've missed and I haven't been able to keep up with. But I've got a handful that I watch every single week. I'm not watching all of their Vlogmases. I'm not. I may catch up on them in the future. I love that they're doing them. I love that they're enjoying doing them. I'm enjoying making the vlogs as well. But it's not a requirement, okay, to watch them. If you fancy them, if you've got 5 minutes spare and you think, yeah, I'll see what nonsense Gemma gets up to behind the scenes, then absolutely brilliant, lovely. Thank you so much for watching my little vlogs. And to those of you that have commented on them, thank you. I'm actually getting a lot more in the way of comments on the vlogs than I am on the podcast itself. So from that perspective, I'm really enjoying getting to know some more of you. That is really, really lovely. But yeah, I just wanted to put this out there, right now. Please do not feel under any pressure or obligation, okay? I will not be disappointed if you don't watch. I'm having so much fun making them. Obviously, hopefully you are enjoying them, but yeah, no pressure, promise, no pressure. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, at the moment I'm managing to do it every single day. I probably won't be doing it every single day. It depends what happens. I was actually quite ill at the start of this week. I found it quite a challenge. But then I took a couple of days for me. And that's why there's not much creative content, because last week I was super busy with shop update stuff. This week I've been super busy with being ill. I've been really busy being ill. What a ridiculous thing to say, Gemma. Honestly. But no, I probably sound quite nasal. It's definitely my sinuses now, but I am much better than I was. So thank you so much to all of you who've reached out and wished me well. I really appreciate that. It's really nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. But yes, I'm doing Vlogmas, and doing that has kind of got me thinking about the season and this idea of pressure. It's a lovely time of year, but people feel under pressure to be a certain way, to be happy all the time. And that's not part of the human condition. Life happens. Things happen on a daily basis. I mean, I have got the most painful blisters on my feet at the moment because I chose to stupidly break in my new walking shoes with a 3.5 mile walk. Idiot. Got halfway through the walk, had the worst blisters, and of course had to hobble back. That's kind of put a downer on my day. I didn't feel like smiling, and you know what? That's okay. It's okay. This idea that you have to be happy for 25 days, I find a little bit unattainable, unrealistic, and it got me thinking about that. So I figured if there are times where actually I don't feel up to podcasting or I don't feel up to vlogging for Vlogmas, I'm just not going to do it, okay? Because that's fine, that's my choice, that's all right. And I got to thinking, because obviously we're getting towards the end of the year, about looking back on goals and rabbit holes and things like this. And I'm trying to learn how to be more organised. I'm juggling a lot of things, trying to run a business. I'm still working part-time as a supply teacher. I'm also running a home. I say I'm running a home. The home is running me at the moment. It took me half an hour to wash up. Oh dear. It's impossible to keep all the balls in the air all the time, but there's this pressure coming from outside, and I've spoken about this before, coming from social media and the time of year, and it's really got me thinking. And actually my final acquisition is linked to this. I fall down rabbit holes in a big way. When I was poorly last year and I wasn't really knitting, my friends encouraged me to become what they called a selfish knitter, because most of my knits went to other people and I didn't have the energy to put into that. And so I started looking on Pinterest and I created a board called Selfish Knitter. Now I know some people have a problem with that language. I don't, okay, because there is selfish and there's selfless, and sometimes you've got to look out for yourself in order to be able to be selfless and look out for others as well. There's balance in all things. Taking time for you is not a bad thing. It does not make you selfish with the negative connotations. I think we mean thoughtless and inconsiderate when we're talking about people being selfish. in a negative way. I don't like the negativity that surrounds that word, but I'm not going to get into the whole lexical debate with you now. We don't do the deep and heavies. Funny story. I started and I thought, oh, I quite like that. Oh, I quite like that. Oh yes, I'd like to knit that. And pretty soon I had a board. It's on Pinterest. You can find it. It's under my Nursery Knits, I'm pretty sure. My Nursery Knits UK Pinterest. Over 600 pins. Suddenly I've added to my feeling of overwhelm again and the idea of pressure to knit these things. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've started organising it. I've started organising it into shawls, one skein projects, socks, and getting rid of the things I really don't see myself knitting. I'm having such fun organising that and actually losing the idea that I have to make everything I've put on that list. Sweet Georgia, so Felicia Lowe, who is the director of Sweet Georgia Yarns and School of Sweet Georgia, she has a fantastic podcast called Taking Back Friday, and I think her first or second ever episode of this talked about deleting her Ravelry queue. I really recommend you take a watch if you've got the time and you're interested, so I'll link it down below as well. And it talks about the idea that actually she worked out if she knit everything on a Ravelry queue, it would take her 35 years if she did nothing but knit in her spare time. Well done to her for working out the maths, but also wow. So I'm getting rid of that. With Christmas knitting, I had plans for Christmas knitting. I love making for other people. I really, really enjoy that. And so I would like to make for other people. But then it became this thing where I'd said, okay, I felt obliged then to make X, Y, Z number of things. And that took the joy out of it for me. And I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right if a season that's meant to be full of joy and you give to show love and you give because, I give because I like giving. I like that feeling of having chosen the perfect gift for someone and showing them, and it doesn't always have to be an expensive gift or of any monetary value whatsoever, to be honest. I've given hand-stitched Christmas cards using freebie kits from cross-stitch magazines before, and the love goes into them. But again, it became this stick to beat myself with. And I suddenly saw time slipping away from me. We're only a couple of weeks from Christmas now. And it became stressful and it became unpleasant. And I thought, I don't want to give gifts where I felt stressed. So, but I saw something today. My friend Catherine showed it to me. I'll pop it here. That was me. That's me. I have knit none of the things that I had planned to at Christmas, but instead I'm not feeling bad about it. I've decided to say no and to relieve myself of that pressure and be a bit kinder to myself, and actually that's going really well. With the rabbit holes and the Pinterest boards, I've also been trying to learn to become more organised, trying to run a business, doing all these things as I've mentioned before. And so what do? Well, you go onto the internet and you search for how to become more organised, how to successfully run a business, how to juggle full-time work and part-time work, and how to stop procrastinating, how to da-da-da. And what I've ended up with is this board full of things, which is great, really, really useful. Only problem is now I've got to find time at some point in my disorganised time to spend time reading these articles, some of which will be absolute nonsense and nothing to do with what the pinner has pinned at all, and weeding out the wheat from the chaff, sorting out those little nuggets of goodness to try and learn how to be better organised. And I got to thinking about this the other day. I thought that's really daft. Again, it's the whole Vlogmas Christmas pressure, all that sort of thing. I thought that's really daft because I'm wasting time I don't have, getting people I don't know to tell me what works for them to make me better. And that's crazy. It just struck me that's really crazy. So I'm not going to do that either. I'm absolutely not going to do that. I am trying to learn from my own mistakes, the things that I perhaps don't get quite right straight away. And I'm trying to avoid falling down rabbit holes of Pinterest and reading things and researching things before doing it. I knew something was going slightly squiffy when I had my friend, haven't asked permission to share her name. I had my friend round the other week, and I said to her, deadly seriously, I've been researching into minimalism. And she cracked up, full on belly laughed. And I'm like, yeah, I can see the funny side too. And I burst out laughing, like, what? Who am I? I know what it's about. I'm researching it because I feel like I've got too much stuff. That's weighing me down. It's hard to keep the house tidy. Or rather, I'm not managing to juggle my time at the moment to keep the house tidy. Yeah, so you see it spirals and spirals and spirals. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. The other day on my vlog, I just took time for me and took time to fill my cup and not worry about everything else. And that's kind of what I want to say. I've been thinking about this and I thought I'd share it with you to, if we can, push away that idea. And it's okay to reject that idea. I believe it's okay to reject the idea. I mean, obviously, I'm not telling you this is gospel, and you mustn't feel that I'm telling you how to live or that my ideas are the only right ones. Absolutely far from it. I have some appalling ideas at times. I really do. But the way I'm thinking at the minute is it's all right to push that to one side and say, do you know what? No, there is no obligation to be festive every day for 25 days. There is no obligation to make all the things. So I would like to invite you, I guess, to spend some time with me over the next couple of weeks, just enjoying a crafty chat about the things that we are enjoying making or doing and escaping from that idea of pressure. And to that end, I will not necessarily be vlogging every day, and I will also not necessarily be podcasting every week. I'm not really sure at the moment. I'm going to see how things go. I may upload every week. I may upload every other week. Obviously, we're coming into the festive season. I may take a couple of weeks off. I'm not sure yet. And I'm not going to commit to anything yet. I'm just going to see how it goes and see how I feel and take it from there. And to that end, the last thing I want to share with you is this book. I came across this in Sainsbury's the other night and I really like it. It's a 5-minute focus journal, and I opened it up out of curiosity and I just saw little prompts like this, brain dumping with space to write, and I'm flicking through what went well yesterday. Lovely, what a lovely way to start the day. When I have to-do lists that are as long as my arm, which is great because it means I'm busy, and it's lovely to be busy because it means I've got lots to do, business is going well, lots of things in my life, lots of people to see, and that's lovely. I'm very blessed, I'm very, very lucky, but it can be quite stressful. And there can be a tendency for us to focus on the negatives, but actually taking 5 minutes and deliberately thinking about what went well yesterday, I think is a really lovely, affirming way to start the day. So this is what I got for myself. It was $4.99, I think, in Sainsbury's, and the recommended retail price is $12.99. And so far, I'm really liking it. I'm not worrying about what everyone else is doing on YouTube. I'm not worrying about what everyone on Pinterest is telling me I should be doing to be organised and to be better, and life hacks and all the rest of it. The idea behind this journal is to focus on you. Here we are. The thing, it says in the front, actually, I've written my name because I am that person. This journal belongs to Gemma. The theme of this journal is focus. Focus on you, focus on your life, and focus on achieving your dreams and desires. And I think that is really, really important. I'm not saying that we shouldn't think of others this festive season. I'm saying we shouldn't forget to think of ourselves as well. That's what I reckon. That's what I reckon. But anyway, that's it. Nothing really more to add. Short and sweet this time. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do join the Ravelry group. Come back next week to see the winner of the CAL. Even if I don't do a full podcast episode, I will do a CAL announcement mini episode as well. I'm hoping to have finished the Boxy and to be able to show you that as well, though, if I'm honest. But no pressure. Enjoy. your drink, your cup of tea, or whatever it is you're joining me for. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hope you get some nice knitting time in and you get some time for you doing the things that fill your cup this festive season. Take care. Bye.